And now welcome as we continue our night on this beautiful night in Denver. The temperature is way up from a night ago, and they want a Rocky win here with the fans in this ballpark, hoping that the World Series will last at least one more night. The Boston Red Sox and the Colorado Rockies. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. That is Tim McCarver. Well, you know the story with the Colorado Rockies coming in. They had won 21 of 22. They'd won all 7 of their postseason games. They had been on the roll. They had the 8-day layoff, and they have since run into an absolute buzzsaw in the way of this Boston Red Sox lineup.
They really have, Joe. It's hard to believe that the Cleveland Indians, or any other team for that matter, beat the Boston Red Sox 3 in a row in the ALCS. Now, speaking of the ALCS, remember before Game 5 when we were talking about how the big 3 needed help? Ortiz, Ramirez, and Mike Lowell. Well, boy, has the rest of the lineup ever answered the call. Jacoby Ellsbury and Dustin Pedroia at the beginning, the 1 and 2 hitters, and the bottom 3 have been sensational and swarming all over the Rockies in this World Series.
You combine those big numbers with a good team ERA, and it's easy to understand why the Boston Red Sox in 2007 are 1 win away tonight from doing what they did to the Cardinals in the 2004 World Series with a 4-game sweep. Interesting pitching matchup tonight with John Lester, the left-hander, taking on Aaron Cook, the right-hander, who hasn't made a start for the Rockies since the 10th of August. It is game number 4. Red Sox up 3-0. Baseball next on Fox. Upper 60s tonight, mid 40s at the start last night. What a difference a day makes, and that is typically the story here in Denver. Give you the lineup for the Boston Red Sox. It's brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods and presented to you by one of the stars of the Fox show Back to You. Here is Fred Willard.
I'm Fred Willard. This is the 4th game of the World Series. The Red Sox want to end it. The Rockies say not so fast. I put together a little lineup. Luckily, Terry Francona has okayed it. Let's see who we're putting out on the field. Leading off, Jacoby Ellsbury, center field. Number 2, Dustin Pedroia, second base. Number 3, David Ortiz, no designated hitter. He wants to play first base. You tell him no. Batting number 4, Manny Ramirez, left field. Number 5, Mike Lowell, third base. J.D. Drew, number 6, in right field. Number 7, behind the plate, Jason Varitek. Number 8, Julio Lugo at shortstop. Pitching, he hasn't batted much this year, but he tells me he hit 500 in high school. John Lester on the mound and ready to hit. Let the games begin.
Thank you, Fred. Everything he does cracks me up. Also in a new movie called Iron Abbey. He is great. Aaron Cook is hoping to be great tonight, and the first pitcher since 1971 to start a World Series game without making a start during the month of September. What's in store for him tonight? What's in store for you tonight? This place is ready to go as the Red Sox try and finish off the World Series. The Rockies want to live till tomorrow night. Game 4 next on Fox.
For the Red Sox, they try to wrap up this lopsided series. For the Rockies, there are desperate times. Simply, they must win tonight. It's pretty easy.
Really doesn't get a whole lot more complicated than that. Right now it's time for the Budweiser opening pitch. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. What is this night going to be like for Aaron Cook? I don't know if anybody can predict what we're about to see from this right-hander, who has a terrific sinker ball. When he is on and he is right, his sinker ball is as good as anybody's in the game. However, as Ellsbury slashes it fair down the left field line, another hit for the rookie and a leadoff double for Jacoby Ellsbury to start the night. The however was Aaron Cook has not made a start since the 10th of August. And he missed 2 months with a strained left oblique. And this is the first round of the playoffs where he's even been active.
Joe, the scouting report fits into what you were saying. Ground balls equals outs, and fly balls equal trouble. The Red Sox will make contact, as Ellsbury proved that point true and as everyone has said and knows, the last start on August 10th.
So a leadoff double. Dustin Pedroia digs his way in. And bunts it foul. It's Aaron Cook for the Rockies. It's John Lester, who's a 23-year-old left-hander with limited experience himself. Aaron Cook was the opening day starter for Colorado. There's John Lester. And for Aaron Cook, he got off to a terrible start, 5-6 prior to the All-Star break, got hot after the break, and then got hurt. Pedroia grounds to third. Ellsbury takes third, one away. Good base running by the rookie Jacoby Ellsbury.
Realizing that Atkins was playing in for the bunt, he had to come in for the play. Atkins with a brief look toward Ellsbury, but you almost have to swivel around to find him. Watch Ellsbury, excellent base running, momentary hesitation, but seeing Atkins come in, third base is not covered by anyone, and Ellsbury, very nice base running, and Pedroia does the job.
So now a runner at third. The infield comes in. Wow. Here in the first inning, and David Ortiz steps in. Something you do not typically see. Runner at third, first inning. And a ground ball through the right side, a base hit, 1-0 Boston as Ortiz knocks home Ellsbury.
Rockies do not play a big poppy defense, but had they been in one, this ball's a 4-3 with a run score. But with the infield in, all American League teams will put the second baseman back there. Not so the Rockies. They play the infield in. Ortiz drives in the first Red Sox run of the game.
Helton and Matsui started that play awfully close together, and still the ground ball found its way between them because the infielders were so close. Pulled in for the play at the plate, and Ortiz found a hole between them. Now Manny Ramirez takes low ball one. Ramirez has hit .381 this postseason and is 4 out of 12 so far in this World Series, and believe it or not, in a 10-5 win last night, he was held hitless. Mike Lowell was not. He's on deck. One ball, one strike on Ramirez.
Thinking about that playing the infield in, I think if the Rockies were facing Josh Beckett, it would have been the proper play because you're not going to score a lot of runs off Beckett. But facing John Lester, who hasn't started since September 26th, you figure to get a lot of runs against him. That's why I think the conservative approach of giving up the run would have been the proper play.
One ball, one strike, one on, one out, 1-0 Boston. And a foul back to the screen, strike two. The defense for Ramirez. And Manny is set up at a ball and 2 strikes, and is a guy who in his last 33 games during the postseason on the road, he's reached base 32 times. And in the 10 wins for Terry Francona's club, they have scored first in 8 of those 10 during the postseason. Exactly what the Rockies did not want to happen tonight. Should be too. Atkins, Matsui, and that's the end of the inning. But the rookie Jacoby Ellsbury starts it once again for Boston. A leadoff double. Moved to third on the ground out, scored on the hit by David Ortiz. 1-0 Boston, game 4.
Hi, it's Brad Garrett. Just to let you know, I will be announcing the Rockies lineup without wearing an athletic supporter. Leading off, Kaz Matsui, Troy Tulowitzki, Matt Holliday, Todd Helton, Garrett Atkins, Ryan Spilborghs, Brad Hupp, Jorvit Torrealba, and Aaron Cook. Good luck to everybody.
That is Brad Garrett, star of Till Death, Wednesdays, 8:30 Eastern on Fox. In that lineup brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. And here is John Lester who was 4-0 with an ERA of 4.5 during the regular season, as he continues and in some ways completes his comeback from so much that he's been through, and we'll get into that during this first inning. Here's the scouting report.
And because of that, he has more stamina because he's been throwing more. A fastball, cutter, and curveball. He does have a changeup, as Kevin Kennedy said, but it's a work in progress in his last start in late September.
John Lester, who last year during his rookie season was 7-2 with an ERA of 4.76. As ball one is up and away to Matsui, and he was diagnosed, Lester was, with a treatable form of anaplastic large cell lymphoma. He started spring training on the backfields. He started the season in A ball, and here he is starting game 4 of the World Series for the Boston Red Sox. Came up in late July and has been getting better as the season has worn on. The 1-1 pitch. Matsui pops it up, and Lester will take it himself. Well, one out. Here's Tulowitzki, who last night was 1 for 4. Up to the number 2 spot. He's back there tonight. Strike one. We said before that in their early days in the system, in the organization for the Red Sox, their baseball scouts and their baseball personnel were about split on who was going to be the better big leaguer, John Lester or Jonathan Papelbon. For a guy like Lester, he doesn't know when the lymphoma was beginning to wear him down, and if you talk to Francona, he'll tell you that really over the last 3 weeks of the regular season did they finally see what had everybody so excited as he made his way up through the system.
When you're compared with Jonathan Papelbon, and you've heard that expression, guilt by association, that's flattery by association.
He falls behind Tulowitzki 2-1. Tulowitzki could not hold up, and it's 2-2 with Matt Holliday next.
Interesting pitch. A cutter on the outside part of the plate. You could see Veritek setting up inside, but the pitch was away. So even though Lester missed, Torrealba was fooled. I beg your pardon, Tulowitzki was fooled.
Here's a foul by Troy Tulowitzki. For Lester, who's making his first start during the postseason, he's pitched in 2 games, both in the ALCS. Game 2, the extra inning loss. In the 11th, he worked 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 runs, a home run by Gutierrez in that game. And then game 4 came out of the bullpen and worked 3 scoreless innings, allowing 1 hit. Tulowitzki strikes out. He's claiming that he foul tipped it into the dirt. He doesn't win the argument. It's 2 out, nobody on.
Seems like you could hear something in Tulowitzki claiming he foul tipped the ball, but Veritek caught it above the ground anyway, so it doesn't matter. Veritek has leather between the ball and the ground. That's a strikeout.
Home plate umpire tonight is Chuck Merriweather. And with 2 out, nobody on, here's Holliday. The one bright spot in this lineup during the World Series for Clint Hurdle. Last night went deep as he greeted Hideki Okajima with a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 7th. Fooled by Lester, and it's 1-1. Last night, first pitch, Okajima, goodbye, and it was a 1-run game. 6-5, but then the Red Sox went back to work. Got 3 runs in the 8th, a run in the 9th, and one at 10-5. Here's what Holliday's done compared to his teammates so far in this series against Red Sox pitching. Right side to his left. It's Pedroia. The length of the infield grass really slowing down that ground ball. And we go to the 2nd here in game 4. Red Sox up 1-0. Back in the 2nd, and a reminder, Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together they create a positive place for kids. And during the last break, after getting through the bottom of the first inning, John Lester, the young left-hander, went over and talked to Jason Varitek. Here's Lowell with a chopper to third. Fair ball. Atkins makes the play. 1 out. You know, I made mention of it on the ball hit by Holiday that you could see the ball really slow down going through this infield grass. And for more on that, let's go down to the field and Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, it's not just the humidor that's depressing offense at Coors Field. Starting with the 2006 season, the Rockies began allowing the infield grass to grow higher, slowing down ground balls, as you said. The infield grass now stands at 1 5/8 inches, up from 1 1/4. In the outfield, it still plays fast. It's only 7/8 of an inch long, but the infield grass is the key here. Troy Tulowitzki, the Rockies shortstop, told me, as a hitter, I hate it. As a defender, I love it.
More beneficial to Aaron Cook than John Lester, you would think.
Drew gets under it, pops it into shallow right center field, and it's Matsui out to grab it. 2 out. And with the bases empty, Varitek will be the hitter. So if the altitude and the ball flying through the air works against you as a pitching staff, let the ground and the grass work for you. You combine that with a very sure-handed infield, and it's a good combination here for Clint Hurdle. There's Varitek, who is the number 7 hitter, and who is 3 out of 11 in this World Series. A little low, ball 1. Pretty good pitch from Aaron Cook, did not get the call.
Give you an idea of how hot the Red Sox have been during this series. 7 hitters, 7 starters of the 8 batting over 300 in the World Series.
For the Red Sox, they've won 7 straight World Series games dating back to 2004. They are averaging over 8 runs per game during this World Series, which is the second best total all time. Granted, we've only played 3 games to this point. That's a little high, and the count 2-1. It is the total package, and there are the numbers, including the .352 team average with 1 home run, which came in their first at bat of this series from Dustin Pedroia. Cook's making some pitches, but not getting strikes called, and the count's 3-1.
That 1 home run, by the way, coming on the first batter of the World Series, Dustin Pedroia, as Joe just said.
3-1 pitch. Full count. On deck is Lugo. Aaron Cook trying to give these Rockies fans something to feel good about. After allowing a run in the first inning, he's trying to pitch a perfect second. And with the help of Matsui, he does. 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Colorado coming up. Helton, Atkins, Spilborghs. 1-0 Boston in Game 4. We move to the bottom of the second here in Game 4. 1-0 Red Sox lead, and Todd Helton is first up. Strike 1 from John Lester. It's Helton, Atkins, and Spilborghs. If anybody gets on hot. This is a Rockies team that, including last night, is 42-16 since the beginning of the month of June here at home. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is a Rockies team that down the stretch when they needed wins got some big ones against teams with their aces on the mound. They got 2 wins when the Dodgers started Derek Lowe. They got 2 wins when the Dodgers started Brad Penny. They got 2 wins, including the 1-game playoff when the Padres started Jake Peavy. They beat some good ones the first 7 games of this postseason. But there is no doubt now that that 8-day layoff cooled off what the Rockies had working in lineup-wise during this World Series. With the exception of Matt Holliday, they haven't hit at all. Just up and away. 2-2 on Helton.
To give you an idea of how feeble their attack has been in the league, in the division series and the league championship series, they were ahead in 61 of 65 innings. They've been ahead in this World Series in 3 innings.
The 2-2 to Helton is high, full count.
Stating the obvious to say that they need a dramatic big inning to get things going here in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, you thought that was coming last night when they got 2 in the 6th and then 3 in the 7th, and they had the tying run, Helton on with nobody out. But did not do anything after that. Helton lines a base into left center field. That ball may be 2. Played by Ellsbury. Helton's going to try. Leadoff double.
Good base running by Helton, realizing that Ellsbury, a left-handed thrower, has too much to do once he gets to it. He's fast, but he has to turn to make the throw to second base. Helton sliding in with the first Rockies hit. These gaps here at Coors Field, a lot of doubles, triples, those types of hits, even with the outfield playing deeply.
Yeah, that's the difference here. You get doubles on balls that don't get past outfielders.
Right.
Here's Atkins, and there's strike 1. Typically, you think, okay, a double, it got past the outfielders, got to the wall. That's what would happen at Fenway Park. But here, because that outfield is so big and the outfielders have to play so deep, by the time they get to the ball, it's a chance for extra bases, and Todd Helton took that chance. And he's at second with nobody out. Atkins trying to move him over, fouls at strike 2. We showed this last night early, and it's worth bringing back. And you look at the difference between Fenway Park and the dimensions. 390 to center, 302 down the right field line, 310 down the left field line. And you fit the field at Fenway inside the field here at Coors, and you see all that extra area that the outfielders have to cover.
The only ballpark in the major leagues longer down the lines, Wrigley Field of all places.
The 0-2, Atkins grounds to short. High hop for Lugo, who juggles, throws low, and what a pick by Ortiz. So much for the guy can't play first base. That was an in-between tricky hop, and he made it look easy. 1 out.
To his glove side, Lugo had a tough time getting the ball out of his glove. That's a fine play by David Ortiz. Watch the juggle right there. And again, and the throw is low. There's a big difference between an in-between hop and a short hop. Short hops are easy. These hops aren't.
Lugo saved an error by David Ortiz, who played in 7 games during the regular season, playing in place of Euclid with no DH. 8 games now total with last night's game, game 3, and no errors. Runner at second, 1 out, and Spilborghs fouls away strike 1. Just a 176 average during the postseason for Spilborghs. Atkins hitting 162 before that ground out. Helton hitting 189. Tulowitzki 216. Some unhealthy averages in the lineup for Clint Hurdle. A leadoff double by Helton. He's there with 1 out. Spilborghs into center field for Ellsbury. Helton will end up at third base, and he will be there with 2 out. Indians did not advance the runner after the leadoff double, and that fly ball goes for out number 2. Helton 90 feet away for Brad Hopp.
Lester getting the attention of David Ortiz at first base, just in case Hopp wants to drop one down, or on a ball to Ortiz, Lester will be covered.
In this situation, the Rockies in this World Series are 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Hopp, who during the regular season hit .214 against left-handed pitching, is trying to come up with a 2-out RBI. Breaking ball in for strike 1. So far, the Rockies have not tested David Ortiz over at first on a bunt. Matsui bunted last night for a hit, but he pushed it down the third baseline. Hopp takes ball 2. .116 RBIs during the regular season for Brad Hopp. 6th best total in the National League. 3-1. Torrealba on deck. Eight strikeouts so far, but the count in Hopp's favor here with 2 out. And a walk on a 3-1 breaking pitch. First walk of the night. 1st and 3rd, 2 out.
John Lester wanted that curveball for a strike, wanted it called a strike, but that ball was low. Good call by Chuck Merriweather, the home plate umpire. Where was that? John says down.
1st and 3rd, 2 out for Torrealba, who last night had an RBI hit, and overall this season at home a .301 hitter. First and 3rd, 2 out. Strike 1. Could be a big 2-out RBI hit for Torrealba if he can pick it up. He's in the hole 0-2.
Good cut fastball following the curveball onto the hands and the bat of Torrealba. You can see that cutter. Once again, a cut fastball. A pitcher applies pressure to the middle finger and actually cuts it in on the right-handed hitter from a left-hander. Similar to a slider.
Time called at the plate. Torrealba this postseason hitting .286. He has knocked home 8. And a check on the runner. You saw that quick shot of Tim Wakefield, who is not active for this World Series because of his shoulder issues, and a quote attributed it to Tim early in this series, said, well, maybe it's not my turn this year, but it's John Lester's chance to shine. As Lester gets this game 4 start, he leads it 1-0. 1st and 3rd, 2 out, in the 0-2 pitch. Pretty good hitting pitcher Aaron Cook waiting on deck. tough play for Lugo. To first, and by a step gets Torrealba to end the inning. The Rockies get a leadoff double from Todd Helton. Get a 2-out walk to Hop. Strand their first 2 of the night. Ellsbury will bat in the 3rd. He is red hot. He scored the only run of the night. 1-0 Boston. Number 8 hitter Julio Lugo first up for the Red Sox. Then the pitcher Lester, then Ellsbury. And a strike, 92 on the radar gun from Aaron Cook, who gave up the leadoff double to Ellsbury, got a ground out to follow, then another by Ortiz. It found its way into right field for an RBI, but I would say so far so good from Aaron Cook. Looks pretty sharp tonight as Lugo grounds one foul. That's strike 2, and Julio is putting together a nice World Series. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
Joe, he admitted that signing the big contract, he had a rough season, but he feels like he's more relaxed, hitting the ball well and playing terrific defense, as we saw last night. Called it instinctive, throwing out the runner at third and then also catching the line drive. He told me a funny story about being up 3-0. He said back in 04 as a fan, he bought a ticket for Game 4 when the Red Sox were down. He didn't go to the game because he thought the series was over. And he said he thought about that coming into the game today, because this Red Sox team doesn't want the Rockies to do to them what that Red Sox team did to the Yankees.
All right, Chris, thank you. As he grounds out to the right side, there's no doubt that what has been a revolving door position for the Red Sox, and it started with Nomar Garcia-Parra. He left. Cabrera was there. Gonzalez was there. Lugo is here now, and he signed a 4-year, $36 million contract. And a lot of pressure came with it. Lester took a strike. 0 for 4 as a big leaguer, swinging the bat. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We talked about this away from the booth at dinner during the ALCS, Joe. Not detecting that bitter frustration this year with Red Sox fans.
High chop. Atkins, a nice play. 2 out.
As we did prior to the 2004, when the Red Sox finally won the World Series after 86 years. This year it just seems differently at Fenway Park. The fans on the road. It's more of an exhilaration. Finally getting the onus off their back.
A little bit of the pressure and the steam was let out. Don't tell Terry Francona that.
No.
He doesn't want to read the papers. He doesn't want to listen to the talk shows. He doesn't want to hear how bad he is during a 4-game losing streak, or how great the Red Sox are during a 4-game winning streak. And here they are on this 6-game winning streak in the postseason, on the verge of another world championship, as Ellsbury takes the ball. Jacoby Doubleman scored his first time. Takes ball 2. Our AT&T poll question, I guess right on cue. Which to you is the better Red Sox team? 2004, 2007. You can text A or B to 991 on your wireless phone from AT&T, or visit msn.foxsports.com/AT&T trivia. Both managed by Terry Francona, and outside of a few core players who are left over, a different ball club. But they're getting the same result. Ellsbury is taken care of. Aaron Cook is pitching well. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Game 4. Rockies coming up, down by 1. Each manager has to be excited with what they're seeing from their starting pitcher tonight. And they face off here as Aaron Cook grabs his bat and looks at a strike from John Lester. And Cook can handle the bat. He had 10 hits and 42 trips during the regular season. High fastball, 0-2. Aaron's got a unique story in that he left a start in 2004 while he was in Cincinnati with dizziness, shortness of breath. Was diagnosed with blood clots in his right shoulder that had moved into his lungs. As he fouls another back in the count, 0-2, still leading off here in the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Red Sox. So it took him a while to fight his way back. And then just when he started to hit his stride this season, he missed 2 months with a strained left oblique. But the Rockies are counting on him tonight as he gets out of the way of ball one.
We asked Aaron if it was similar to David Cohn's blood clot about 10 years ago. He said yes. He said the doctors told him that you could have died on the mound. That's how serious it was.
The 1-2 from Lester is popped into shallow right. Drew puts it away, 1 out. Back to the top of the lineup in Kazuo Matsui. Matsui, when he stepped in the first inning during the postseason, had carried a .438 home average with him, just .231 on the road. And last night, Matsui was 3 out of 5, including a bunt hit. Again, they have not tested David Ortiz pushing a bunt or dragging a bunt down the first baseline so far. Breaking ball is in for a strike. Ortiz has shown his good hands in these 2 games so far, but he is walking around and jogging around on a bad right knee. Matsui fooled. It's 0-2.
That's the first changeup thrown by John Lester. Matsui way out in front. It better be.
What a luxury for the Red Sox and Francona and John Farrell to have Jason Varitek behind the plate. I know night after night we talk about what he means to this Red Sox team, but tonight catching John Lester, who hasn't made a start since the 3rd week of September, and trying to guide him through this Colorado lineup gives Lester a big leg up. Matsui hits one into left, and Ramirez came in. It's over his head. Matsui will dig into second and stop there with a 1-out double.
We talked about it before the series moved west to Denver. A spacious left field, and that ball was misplayed by Manny Ramirez. He broke in, and then by the time he gathered himself to break back, a double by Matsui, but that ball should have been caught. Two steps in, and then by the time he broke back, Matsui on at second base.
Now Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki is so far 3 out of 10 against the Red Sox as he waits and fouls at strike 1.
Watch the first 2 steps. Actually, you can't see it from that angle because you can't see Ramirez, but he broke in 2 steps before he went back.
Oh, 1 the count, runner at second, the tying run, 1 out. Tulowitzki. Strike 2. Just for your peace of mind, those who are watching on high def with a widescreen saw exactly what you were talking about with Manny Ramirez.
Good. Didn't show up on my telestrator, though.
No. I think Madden broke that thing in back in about 82. So it's a little dented.
And dated.
0-2 the count on Tulowitzki, who struck out his first time. Red Sox leading this series 3-0. Boston leading game 4 1-0. And Tulowitzki takes one just down and in. Ball 1. Tulowitzki is one of many on this Rockies team who has struggled with runners in scoring position this postseason. Just 2 out of 13 for a guy who drove in 99 runs during the regular season. 2-2. On deck is the hottest Rocky hitter, Matt Holliday. Tulowitzki strikes out, and a big strikeout for Lester. Second time he has struck out Tulowitzki 2 away.
Getting Troy on the cutter inside. Veritek setting up in there. And Tulowitzki swinging over it.
This Boston staff has really taken advantage of the inexperience of these Rocky hitters. The exception is the guy digging in. We have seen patience on the side of the Red Sox hitters and a lack of patience for the Rockies. Holliday takes the ball.
Plus a proper pitch selection too. Terry Francona agreeing with our assessment last night before the game that the Red Sox, for the most part, getting the Rockies hitters out on fastballs. There's the engineer right there.
1 ball, no strikes on Holliday. Up and after it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Matt, who went deep last night and has 5 home runs this postseason. Tying run at second, 2 out. Third inning. Inside 2-1. John Lester does not appear phased one bit by the big stage with his team up 3-0. The 23-year-old behind on the count to Matt Holliday, 2-1. Good pitch down and in, 2-2.
But Lester and Veritek getting a lot of mileage out of that cut fastball down and in to right-handed batters.
And now to make sure they're on the same page, Jason Veritek wants to talk to Lester. Look at the RBIs during the regular season with this group. Helton, Tulowitzki, Hop, Holliday, Atkins. And then what they have done with runners in scoring position during the postseason. A 2-2 count on Holliday. And a foul off to the right, out of play. We mentioned it last night. Matt Holliday led the National League in home average. Hit .376 in this part. Led in RBIs with 82 of his 137 and was second in home runs with 25. Prince Fielder, who was honored before the game, hit 27 in Milwaukee this season. Another 2-2. Inning over. Another strikeout for Lester. High heat, 94 miles per hour. Back-to-back strikeouts after the 1-out double by Matsui. John Lester's got it working tonight. And after 3, 1-0 Boston. Game 4. 4th inning now. Good pitching so far from Aaron Cook and John Lester. Dustin Pedroia takes the ball high. Pedroia grounded out his first time. Advanced Ellsbury, who had doubled over to third, and Jacoby scored on a hit by Ortiz, and that is it. What a rip Dustin Pedroia takes every time up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wanting to put a laser show on for his teammates. The laser show starts at 8:30. That's what he tells his teammates before every game.
He is not lacking for confidence.
No, he isn't.
And he can play. That's upstairs. Ken Rosenthal did some digging about that very topic. What do they say about Dustin down there?
Well, Dustin's bravado is a never-ending source of amusement to his teammates. And Tim's right. He does advise them to get there early for the laser show. He even tells them to bring goggles to shield their eyes from his lasers. Now, Alex Cora says that Pedroia has been quieter in Denver, joking that he's preserving his energy and altitude. But Royce Clayton says that Pedroia is the T.O. of baseball.
The T.O. of baseball. Thank you, Kenny. And he grounds out to the right side, put out 3-1 with Cook covering, and Aaron Cook continues his fine work. David Ortiz will dig his way in. You know, we asked the question earlier about which team is better, 2004, 2007. Obviously, at this point, 2004 is the team that won it. 2007 is the team that's trying to win it against Colorado. I would say this. I don't know which team is better in its current state during the World Series. But this 2007 team, the way it's set up with a lot of the younger players, is set up for a long run, I would say, of excellence in Boston. Whether it's tonight's starter Lester or Papelbon in the bullpen or Youkilis or Pedroia or Jacoby Ellsbury, they have a younger flair to this team than they had with that veteran bunch in 2004. Ortiz a part of both, and he's in the hole here on 2.
You may not be able to say whether the 2004-2007 team is the best, but perhaps the 2008 or 2009 team may be better than either of those teams.
That was a good pitch by Cook, and he has Ortiz set up. David with an RBI single tonight, and he took a rip with an 0-2 count. You look at John Henry, who is in charge at the top with the Boston Red Sox, and here are the core players who were there. Youkilis on the list. He was not active, but a part of the team in 2004, and those guys are back, including that guy Francona in 2007. Pretty good pitch there, and Cook doesn't get the call. Ball 1.
You could almost see Chuck Merriweather, the home plate umpire, flinch right there. Tailing fastball, and Cook wanted it.
I think that Ortiz glare after the 0-2 count worked its way in, and Ortiz pops it up out behind second base. Good luck. How would you like to stand under that? Tulowitzki hauls it in. 2 out. Here comes Manny Ramirez. Last night, doing what he has done throughout the postseason and throughout the season. With the dreadlocks running around the bases. Last night, kicking his helmet back into foul territory, and last night tagged out at the plate on a throw from Matt Holliday and left. But that's part of his action around the bases.
It certainly does not make you faster.
With 2 out, there's a strike on the outside corner.
If that were the case, you'd be seeing marathon runners wearing helmets. 100-yard dash guys wearing helmets.
Well, last night was the first time we've seen it in the postseason where he pushed it off, and then it came down and hit him on the back of the heel.
First time we've seen it hit him on the heel, right.
It ended up by DeMarlo Hale, and it was, talked to Terry Francona before the game about it, and he just kind of chuckles and he says, that's our Manny. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramirez is 0 for 1 tonight, bounced into a double play his first time. 0 for 5 so far in the game and a half here in Denver. Strike 2. Line drive into left. Holiday is there. And how about Aaron Cook? How about John Lester? A pitcher's duel in game 4, 1-0. Red Sox on top. We move into the bottom of the 4th inning and a strike from John Lester, who has been impressive. Helton doubled his first time, leading off in the 2nd, did not score. The Rockies got a 1-out double from Kazuo Matsui last inning. He didn't move as Tulowitzki and Holiday both struck out. And if the Rockies do not put together a big rally here sometime soon, this World Series is going to be over before they knew it started. A team that led the National League in hitting at .280 during the regular season, led in home average, and it has not carried over, certainly in the World Series, and really for the most part in the playoffs. They won the first 2 rounds with pitching. But against this Red Sox lineup, that pitching is tested every at bat. And if they're not going to score runs, they have put way too much pressure on this staff, and they will be packing up their bags at the end of the night. 2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1 from Lester, who stares in at Chuck Merriweather after not getting the call. Atkins on deck, and then Spilborghs. The 3-1. Ground ball to the right side. Pedroia stumbles a bit. 1 out. We talked to Red Sox manager Terry Francona about how good his young left-hander looks tonight.
Yeah, he's not acting like a 23-year-old. He's thrown his cutter with tight spin. He's thrown his fastball in enough. He's competing. Again, we got a long way to go, but he looks good. Yeah,
and we mentioned it earlier, and I think we probably wear this out, but for Veritek behind the plate, I would imagine there's not a lot of shaking off tonight by John Lester with what Veritek's putting down.
No, not by anybody. When Jason puts something down, the pitchers know there's a reason. They follow him pretty well.
Terry, is there a pitch count with John tonight?
About 180. No, I mean, I think we get up around 90, 95. Not so much the count, but he hasn't been out there. So, you know, when he gets up to that around that area, he needs to still be in his delivery and be sharp, or we'll go to somebody else.
Last question. We've seen a lot of Okajima the last 3 games. Are we going to see him tonight?
You certainly could, but we need to use some judgment there. He's thrown a lot of pitches the last 3 days. It would have to be a perfect situation.
Thank you, Terry. Good luck. Guys. That's Terry Francona, who has watched Lester battle back from a 3-1 count, get Helton on the ground out. Atkins lined out to short. And here is Ryan Spilborghs, who fly to center his first time, ball 1 high. Okajima is loosening out in the bullpen, just trying to get the blood flowing. And he was a guy that the Red Sox counted on last night. Ended up pitching an inning, and they really stretched him out in game 2 when he worked 2 1/3. The 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. Spilborgh's a guy who hit .352 this season, and that's through the postseason against left-handed pitching. Trying to get on to get something going here with 2 out in the 4th inning. Upstairs, 2-2. A Rockies team that this season has been used to being up against it. 9 games under the 500 mark May 21st. From May 22nd on, they had the National League's best record. In the World Series, down 3 games to nothing and trailing tonight 1-0 as the count goes full on Spilborghs. 2-out walk. Second walk of the night issued by John Lester. Before the game tonight, the Sharp Presents Hank Aaron Award was presented to each league's top hitter, as voted on by the fans. Prince Fielder was the National League winner. Alex Rodriguez, who was not in attendance, was the American League winner. So Henry is here tonight. Bob DuPay, the Major League Baseball out there, and Prince Fielder was honored prior to the start of Game 4. And there is Hank Aaron, and a wave to the crowd. He got a huge ovation from this packed house before the start of this night. Now with 2 on, Pop, strike 1.
If there was anybody in baseball history with a more appropriate nickname, Hammer, could he ever hammer?
Hall of Fame inductee and now number 2 on the all-time home run list with his 755. 0-1 pitch is just down and away. Ball 1.
Become indelibly impressed with the hitter when you're behind him 2 or 3 feet. Henry Aaron used to always come in the box, put his hard cap over his soft cap, put his bat between his legs, and go. Every at bat. Just a little nervous cough. Well, if he was nervous and coughing, think of what the pitcher was doing.
Well, the statistics are staggering, and one thing I've always heard about Hank Aaron is that he never got the credit for being the all-around player that he should have.
Great defensive player, could steal a base, great arm.
It wasn't just power. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 out, and a check on Spilborghs, who was 4 out of 5, in case you're wondering, during the regular season stealing bases. Was a champ in 1957, had 3,700 hits. Most RBIs all time. Great outfielder, and his 755 home runs.
You could take those 755 home runs away, and it'd still have 3,000 hits.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2 on Hop. Brad walked his first time. He has struck out 8 times in 13 at-bats during this World Series. And he's set up here at 1-2. In the top of the 5th, the Red Sox will have Lowell, Drew, and Veritek. Rockies wondering when it will come, or if it will. This group came into this game hitting .222 during the World Series and only .236 during the postseason. Red Sox hitting .352 during the series. The 1-2. Pop waits on it and hits it into right center field. Ellsbury to his left. Inning is over. And John Lester has thrown 4 shutout innings. Leads 1-0 into the 5th. Back after this from your local Fox station. Who will it be? This year's World Series MVP will receive the perfect garage from Chevy. 2007 Chevy Malibu and Tahoe Hybrid. We move into the 5th inning, and a shot into left center field off the bat of Lowell. Cut off by a Holiday. He drops it. Lowell was cruising into second base. It stopped running hard, and that means it's a double to start this 5th.
Looked like Lowell was looking for a fastball inside and hammers it to left center field. Again, a lot of room out there. Holiday drops the ball after he catches it, but Lowell's not going anyplace anyway.
So now J.D. Drew, who popped up his first time, who was 4 for 12 in his career against Aaron Cook with a home run and 5 RBIs. Runner at second, nobody out. And a ball outside. The Rockies toyed with the idea of activating Aaron Cook for the last round. Wanted to get him one more start in a rehab assignment. Put him on the roster for this World Series, and he gets the ball here in Game 4. Gets a big out as he gets Drew. And his manager, who we chatted with last inning, likes what he sees so far from his right-hander, Aaron Cook.
Yeah, very, very efficient. 7 ground ball outs, and he's got 8 outs in the first 3 innings. So he looks good out there. We're happy with it. He's, you know, it's just got to be a thrill for him to be out there and making pitches like he's making right now. We just got to find a way to get on that board and crack this thing a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the other side, you have to be also impressed with what you're seeing out of their young left-hander, John Lester. He looks on, too.
Well, we've seen some tape on him where he's good. You know, he's a young pitcher, and he's had some struggles. Right now, the slider's been an effective pitch for him. He's throwing it down underneath the right-handers, and he's elevating late with a fastball. So, get him figured out.
Good luck. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Trying to still figure him out. Trailing 1-0. And now it's Cook trying to pitch around a leadoff double by Mike Lowell.
Pitch around is the phrase. I'm surprised they're pitching to Veritek. Not only is Lugo on deck, but you have the pitcher John Lester in the hold. You're going to pitch to Veritek. You try to make him hit a ball.
The 1-0 from Cook. Ground ball right side, base hit. Lowell will come to the plate. The throw home by Hop. He's got a good arm. And safe as Lowell. Base hit Veritek. 2-0 Red Sox in the 5th.
I just don't think you could pitch to him there. Not with Lugo and the pitcher. I mean, John Lester has not had a major league hit. And he's, as I said, you got the right-hander in Lugo. Perhaps he's not a double play candidate, but by throwing the ball right down the middle to a fastball hitter allows Lowell to score. A good slide, head first, going to the outside part of the plate. And the Red Sox extend their lead.
So 2-0 here in the 5th inning, and it's Veritek.
What a slide by Lowell.
Veritek delivers his 5th RBI of this World Series. And the Red Sox take advantage of the leadoff double. That's up the middle. Another hit for Lugo. Veritek will hold at second, 2 on, 1 out. You look at the starting pitching for the Colorado Rockies so far in this World Series. Jeff Francis went 4 innings, allowed 6 earned runs on 10 hits. Ubaldo Jimenez got into the 5th, could not finish the 5th. 3 hits, a lot of walks, and 2 runs. Josh Fogg could not make it through 3 last night. And now Aaron Cook is getting hit here in the 5th. And a visit from Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, out to Aaron Cook with 2 on, 1 out. And the pitcher Lester at the plate as Jeremy Affeldt gets loose for Colorado in their 10th. The series summary brought to you by Verizon in Game 1. All Red Sox behind Josh Beckett. Started with that leadoff home run from Pedroia, and the Red Sox didn't slow down. Then great bullpen work after the solid start in Game 2 by Schilling. A 2-1 win last night. 10 runs, 15 hits, and a 10-5 win. And it was the rookies at the top of the order, Ellsbury and Pedroia, who made a lot of that happen. Now with 2 on, 1 out, Lester bunts through it, strike 1. Talked to Lester about his bunting after he was working on it prior to Game 3 last night, and I said, how'd you do? He said, not so hot. Dave Magadan is the hitting coach, and whatever they can impart here under the gun to guys like Lester, they give it a shot. Can he get it down? It is over but low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
When you're not used to bunting and you have to square around and face a pitcher, there's an innate fear of the ball. That's one of the reasons. And it's very, very difficult to bunt when you're not used to putting a ball in play.
And it better be a good bunt. The lead runner is Varitek at second.
Should be hard down the third baseline. Try to make the third baseman feel the ball. And that clears things for Varitek to go to third.
Lester has got Helton breathing down his neck as the pitch is brought to the plate. Helton is charging. And that's strike two. So he has missed twice. On deck is the rookie Ellsbury.
That is definitely a pitcher's bat. There's not a mark on the barrel of the bat.
And Lester takes ball 3 outside, 3-2. Affelt the left-hander. Ellsbury on deck. The big pitch for Aaron Cook, trying to get an out that the Red Sox are handing him. And Lester strikes out. First strikeout of the night for Aaron Cook. 2 on, 2 out. I guess he wasn't lying.
No, that meant something.
So Lester's doing it with his arm, not with his bat. Last night it was Daisuke Matsuzaka who pitched well into the 6th. Came up with a big 2-out, 2-run single and a 6-run third. And now it's first and second for Ellsbury, who is 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. The Rockies in the bottom of this 5th inning will be trailing by at least 2. They are scheduled to have Torey Albert in the pitcher's spot. So this is probably it for Aaron Cook. Down 3-0 and 2-zip in this game at the moment. First start since the 10th of August, and he misses inside. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Ellsbury takes inside. 2 balls and a strike. Pedroia next. Varitek with the RBI hit here in this 5th inning. He's the lead runner at second. Lugo behind him. The 2-1. 2-2. Two from Aaron Cook. Ellsbury strikes out, and the inning is over. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aaron Cook to get him out of the top of the 5th, which started with a leadoff double by Lowell, RBI hit by Varitek. 2-0 Boston as we go to the bottom of the 5th, game 4. Game 4 of the World Series. Red Sox up 3-0 and leading here 2-0. It's Torey Alba, then Cook, and then Matsui. Back-to-back strikeouts to get Aaron Cook out of the top of the 5th. And the workload for the bullpen so far for the Rockies. They've brought Cook another inning. We'll see. He is at least in the on-deck circle as Torey Alba takes a strike. Yorvik grounded out to short his first time up. Lester has been outstanding. He's pitched around 2 doubles. He has struck out 3, walked 2, and he misses in the dirt 1-1. John Lester, a 2nd-round pick back in 2002. A rapid rise through the system for the Red Sox. Leading 2-0 in the 5th inning, game 4, and Torey Alba, a late swing, strike 2.
Once again, the Red Sox pitchers sticking with the fastballs to these Rocky hitters. That has been the pattern throughout the first 3.5 games. One fastball after another.
And these Rockies hitters have been chasing a lot of pitches. 1-2 is hit, foul. Still 1-2. The World Series on Fox, sponsored by the car you can't ignore, the all-new Chevy Malibu. Beautiful night, mid-60s in Denver. 20 degrees warmer than it was last night for game 3. 1-2 pitch, Torey Alba stays up there. Something we talked about at the beginning of the postseason for Boston, and how the organizational thrust has changed over the years to the advantage of the Red Sox as Torey Alba gets under it and pops it behind second base. Lugo is out, and he has out number 1. And Aaron Cook will hit with the bases empty, 1 out. This is an organization that did not lead the American League in team ERA between 1915 and 1998. And they've now led the AL in team ERA 3 times in the last 9 years. That happened this year with a team ERA of 3.87. So as much as we talk about this lineup and the heart of it with Ortiz and Ramirez and Lowell, pretty good swing by Cook, strike 1. What they have done on the mound is as impressive.
I know Aaron Cook is a good hitter, but I don't think he can hit right here. I mean, the Rockies have 14 outs with which to score at least 2 runs. That's provided they hold the Red Sox down.
He pushes a bunt past the pitcher and has a base hit. That's the first time that a Rocky hitter has pushed a bunt to the right side. And once it got past Lester, it was a base hit.
So he wasn't up there hitting, he was up there bunting. Lester falling off toward the third base side, and Cook bunts it to his left, and Pedroia can't make a play.
So again, something we thought we would see a lot of in these 2 games with Ortiz at first base. That one not in David's direction, more toward the direction of Pedroia, but well placed once it got past Lester. And here's Matsui. Tying run at the plate. 1 out, 5th inning. Now he shows bunt, takes a ball. Talking to Clint Hurdle about it before game 3. Is it anything you talk about with your hitters about David Ortiz at first? He said these guys are more informed and aware of that than we ever were in my day with the internet and the coverage that these series get on television. They know that Ortiz is at first, but they really haven't tested it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matsui. The plays that Ortiz has had to make, he's done very well. But they have not required him to use his legs and move. Instead, use those good hands. The 1-1 to Matsui. Little pop-up to the shortstop, Lugo. Lester gets Matsui for the second time tonight. He's 1 for 3. And Tulowitzki will be the hitter. Del Carmen getting ready for Boston. Lester so far is doing what he can to keep Del Carmen out in the bullpen.
Terry Francona said in our interview about 90 to 95 pitches. Lester has thrown 79 as we speak.
And he's been effective as Tulowitzki grounds one to third right at Lowell, and the inning is over. 4-out 5-4 as Lowell feeds Pedroia. We go to the 6th inning of a well-pitched game. Red Sox looking for a sweep. Lead it 2-0. Game number 4 goes into the 6th inning, and for the Boston Red Sox, it'll be Pedroia, David Ortiz, and Manny Ramirez against Aaron Cook, who gets into the 6th. There is action behind him in the bullpen. And a ball low from Cook to Pedroia, who's 0 for 2. Again, Dustin Pedroia has hit the only home run in this World Series for Boston. And he chops to third foul. Strike 1.
Maybe a minor point because Aaron Cook did get a bunt base hit. But if there are two relievers warming up, why didn't you pinch hit for Aaron Cook if he's only going to pitch to Pedroia? Or if you're going to bring in Affeldt to go ahead and pitch to David Ortiz. Again, he did get a base hit on a bunt to the right side. I mean, you're playing probabilities and odds here.
And I think for the most part, Aaron Cook, no matter what happens from this point out, has done what as much as the Rockies could have hoped he would do.
That's right.
After not making a start since the 10th of August, he has been impressive with all the pressure of working a game 4 with his team down 3 games to nothing. That breaking ball misses. 2-1. Pitch count is good. He's allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. The problem is his teammates have scored no runs on 3 hits against John Lester. 2-1 pitch. That is knocked down by Cook. 1 away. Good play. He took a hit away from Pedroia.
Quick reactions to his left. He almost caught that ball on a line. Watch the reactions of Aaron Cook. Right to his left. And that ball gotten by, and probably a hit for Pedroia. Underhands it to Helton.
And so now with the bases empty, 1 out, here is David Ortiz, who has an RBI single and a pop-up. Strike 1, a big swing by Ortiz. Trying to unload into right, and for David, 1 for 2 tonight, and 5 out of 14 in this World Series, and hitting better than .370 during the postseason. Ball 1. With 1 out, nobody on, a 1-1 pitch is grounded to the shortstop. Tulowitzki on the other side of the bag. 2 out. Big day of sports on Fox today. It started out in the studio, Fox NFL Sunday. Then the first ever regular season game in London was won by the Giants 13-10. Eli Manning ran for a touchdown. Then to Foxborough, the big game late. Washington just throttled by New England 52-7. And now here tonight in Denver, Game 4 of the World Series. And look what the Patriots did. And Brady now 30 touchdown passes. He had 3 today, rushed for 2. And of the 30, 11 of the touchdowns have been to Randy Moss, who was halfway to the record. Jerry Rice with his 22 in 1987.
It's nice to be a sports fan in New England nowadays.
Yeah, add to that what Boston College is doing.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the country, and they had a come from behind win at Virginia Tech their last time out. Celtics, as we talked about 2 games ago, about to crank up. They've got preseason going, and they've got their big 3 now, as they have added Allen and Garnett. Here's the 0-1 to Ramirez. Is a slow roller to third. Atkins with a pickup and throw. Good play and a solid start by Aaron Cook. However, the Rocky bats have been silent again. 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up. Only 3 hits tonight for Colorado as they trail by 2. We gave you the AT&T poll question, which we will give you again as Holiday shatters his bat, pops up, caught by David Ortiz, and in a blink, 1 out as Lester gets Holiday to start the 6th inning. That AT&T poll question was, which is the better Red Sox team? A or B, 2004 or 2007? And 68% of you picked this version, 2007. I am not surprised that it's 2007. I am surprised it is that lopsided. Well, they are certainly impressive tonight. I wonder if any of the Rockies are voting on that. They have to be impressed with what they're seeing from this 2007 team. Offensively, defensively, on the mound, every which way. As ball 1 misses to Helton with 1 out in the 6th. Helton has doubled. He is grounded out. And he's up on the count here, 2-0. Todd led off in the 2nd with a double. But then Atkins grounded out. Spilborgh's flied out after a walk to Hop. Torrealba grounded out. The 2-0. 3-0. Del Carmen is still getting loose for Boston in their bullpen, and any hiccup Terry Francona could go his way. Three and 1. Three balls and a strike. Helton trying to get something going. Hits one into left field. Ramirez in to his right is there for out number 2. With that hat on top of his head, we go back to the ground out.
Yeah, well, that was the soft hat that Manny is wearing in left field. But watch this. Into your living room. That was funny.
And that was the final out in the top of the 6th inning. And here is Garrett Atkins, who's 0 for 2. And a ball outside.
Saw Manny lose his helmet between 2nd and 3rd last night, trying to score. Helmet right before he reached 3rd base fell off his head, and he kicked it with his right heel on that play where he was thrown out. Here it is right here. This is last night off the left heel, I beg your pardon. And he was out at the plate on a fine play by Yorgi Torrealba.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 out. Nobody on. Garrett Atkins takes the ball inside. You cannot state with enough adjectives and platitudes how good of a job John Lester has done here tonight. So much more than the Red Sox could have expected for a guy who's just 23 years old, making his first career postseason start. And a guy who hasn't made a start period since the 3rd week of September. And he doesn't look like it. And he has not been phased whatsoever. He has fooled these Rocky hitters all night. He's allowed only 3 hits.
Fooled the Rocky hitters and overpowered the Rocky hitters.
Check swing. Atkins now with a full count, 3-2. Tim Wakefield, whose spot Lester is taking, thinking that John Lester was through the 6th. 2 out, nobody on, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Atkins takes a walk, and that's the 3rd walk issued tonight. And Terry Francona up by 2. May have seen enough. The interesting part of this is with Del Carmen, the choice, if he does come in here, and the change has been made, Lester, who was sensational through 92 pitches here tonight, got through 5 2/3 innings, will give way to Carmen with a right-hander Spilborghs coming up, and a left-handed power threat. Brad Hopp will be waiting on deck. Ryan Spilborghs is the hitter. Manny Del Carmen is the pitcher. Tying run at the plate. Bottom of the 6th. 1 on, 2 out. And a ball high. You've got Spilborghs up now, and if Spilborghs reaches, the left-handed power threat Brad Hopp is on deck. Guy who hit 29 home runs during the regular season. Spilborghs, in case you're wondering, hit 11. 3rd walk of the night was the end of the night for John Lester. What a job he did. That's up and away, 2-0. Del Carmen relieved last night when 2/3 of an inning allowed a hit and a walk.
This is almost like a free swing for Spilborghs. Get a ball in your area and leave your feet and try to tie it.
2-1. From Del Carmen. Good pitch down and away, and Spilborghs with a 2-2 count.
Throw that hard and put it in that spot. Not many guys are going to touch that pitch. One on, 2 out. And a strikeout as Del Carmen comes in and slams the door on the top. Make it the bottom of the 6th inning, and after the walk, Lester was finished. What a night tonight. Still 2-0. Back after this from your local Fox station. Are they loose in the Red Sox dugout like it's a late April game? They're playing around with Daisuke Matsuzaka as somebody puts bubblegum on top of his hat. Now that's a live look. Now he knows. Coco Crisp did it, and they've all been giving him trouble not knowing, Daisuke not knowing that was on top of his hat. And the interpreter's going, "You still love me?" Daisuke may get a new interpreter, but the rest of his teammates had a good laugh. Lowell hits one into left field. Back at the wall, Mike Lowell has made it 3-0 Red Sox. Aaron Cook still out there, and Lowell is 2 out of 3 against him tonight. His 2nd home run of this postseason, and he has made it 3-0 in the 7th.
from Aaron Cook brings the end to his night. Way out into left, Aaron Cook taken out of the game by his manager Clint Hurdle. And here in the 7th inning of Game 4, tip of the cap to the crowd, but the Rockies trail 3-0. 70-pitch night for Aaron Cook. He goes into the 7th inning, gives up the home run, second home run hit by the Red Sox in this World Series. 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. And that foul tip caught the home plate umpire Chuck Merriweather. Strike 1 from Jeremy Affeldt to J.D. Drew. Affeldt has been busy in this series. He worked last night. Went an inning with a strikeout. And he deals with Drew. Veritek will follow, and then Julio Lugo. What a night for Lowell. This could be his last night in a Red Sox uniform if Boston wins tonight. He is a free agent to be. The 0-1 pitch. That misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
After that year that Mike Lowell had, no need to enhance it, but he has with the postseason that he's had.
Up to his postseason average with the double and the home run to over 340. Good pitch from Affeldt down. Drew over the top of it. Strike 2. And Torrealba is out to talk to Affeldt. For J.D. Drew tonight, he's popped up. He's grounded back to the pitcher. Aaron Cook did what he could, but his teammates have been shut down by a combination of Lester and Del Carmen. No runs on 3 hits. Bottom of the order will bat in the bottom of this 7th inning for Colorado. Still 1-2 on Drew.
Aaron Cook did induce 13 ground ball outs, but we said it in our scouting report earlier that ground balls equal good things and balls in the air equal trouble. And Lowell got it up.
2-2 on Drew. The 15th year of this franchise here in Denver. Trying to come up off the deck here in this World Series, and it just got a little harder after that home run by Lowell. Affeldt upset he did not get that call from Chuck Merriweather, and the count's now full 3-2. Drew strikes out. 1 away in the 7th. This legend of the World Series is brought to you by the movie I Am Legend, starring Will Smith.
Goes through the same cat-tugging and dirt-pawing maneuvers. Mitchell starts to move the bat, checks his swing, and Pinelli's arm goes up. Strike 3. And with that fateful move, Pinelli opens the door to the Hall of Fame for Larson. It also touches off one of the wildest player demonstrations.
That was the 1956 World Series Game 5 perfect game thrown against the Dodgers by Don Larson. 97 pitches and one of 17 perfect games in Major League Baseball history. And still the only no-hitter of any type during the postseason. Strike 1 on Veritek, who has an RBI single and a groundout. Left side and off the glove of Atkins into left. The second hit for Veritek here in Game 4.
Driving in a run in the 5th inning. The second Boston run. Garrett Atkins diving to his left. Looked like he dove too far to his left.
So now it's Lugo with the pitcher spot to follow. Timlin has been getting loose for the Red Sox out in their bullpen. And we'll wait and see who comes into the on-deck circle for Boston. Lugo's 1 for 2 tonight. And 5 for 12 in this World Series. Strike one. Del Carmen had to go find a helmet and a bat to stand down in the on-deck circle. But that certainly doesn't mean that he'll hit. They're joking around down there because he's got to appear like he's getting ready, if nothing else, and he's got to use somebody's bat. 0-1 pitch is fouled away. Strike two. Let's see, whose bat is this? Whose helmet is it?
Whose batting gloves are they?
Here's a chopper to Helton, steps on, and now they've got Varitek caught in the rundown, and the inning is over. So while we wait for our 7th inning stretch here in Denver, we will give you our game summary. World Series Game 4. Varitek has an RBI hit. Lowell with a double, a run scored, a home run. And Lester was outstanding. Cook very good as well. Got into this 7th inning from his start here tonight. In the top of the 7th inning, this was the result of the last pitch thrown by Aaron Cook. The home run by Mike Lowell, which makes it 3-0. Right now, for our 7th inning stretch, we go to the Rockies public address announcer, Reed Saunders.
And now, to honor our nation with the singing of God Bless America, please rise and remove your caps as we are joined by one of the most successful groups in country music history. With 10 #1 hit songs and more than 10 million albums sold, please welcome Lone Star.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain and to the prairie, to the oceans, why we're born. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet, sweet home.
Manny Del Carmen didn't have to use Doug Mirabelli's helmet or somebody else's bat and go to the plate. After the double play hit into by Julio Lugo, he's on to start the bottom of the 7th. Hop first up. Ball one high and tight. 3-0 Boston. Trying to sweep the World Series. They did it in 2004. White Sox did it to the Astros in 2005. Last year was a 5-game World Series that the Cardinals won over Detroit. 2-0 on Hop. Torrealba, then the pitcher spot. A strike over the inside part. It's 2-1. Timlin and Hideki Okajima getting loose for Boston in case Manny Del Carmen has any trouble, and Brian Fuentes getting loose for the Rockies. 2-1 to Brad Hawk. 2-2. So Del Carmen fell behind Spilborghs last inning, came back and got him, and now at Hop. It was 2-0, now 2-2.
It's been the pattern throughout the series. The Rockies have had 2 men on base in 1 inning back in the 2nd inning. And there were 2 outs when they got those 2 men on.
They also fell behind tonight right out of the gate with a leadoff double by Jacoby Ellsbury. He scored on a hit by Ortiz. And just like that, down 3 games to nothing, the Rockies were trailing in game 4. A run in the 5th, driven in by Veritek. A run in the 7th on a home run by Lowell. Hop into right. At the track, at the wall, the Rockies are on the board. 3-1.
The Red Sox have been throwing Brad Hop high fastballs throughout the series, and Brad finally caught up to one.
Second home run of this World Series for Colorado. Holiday went deep last night. Now Hop makes it a 2-run game. Nobody on or out. Yorvit Torrealba takes the ball. Corey Sullivan is in the on-deck circle. Two 2-0 from Del Carmen. And 3 of the infielders converge on Manny Del Carmen.
I think they're giving Okajima a chance to warm up a little bit more. In case Del Carmen walks Torrealba, then you bring the left-hander in to pitch to Sullivan.
Two and 1. Torrealba thought it was high. Bottom of the 7th inning. Into right field for Drew. To his left. In fair territory, 1 out. Before the game tonight, Chevrolet presented a check of $125,000 to Major League Baseball charities for its Chevrolet Player of the Game sponsorship. Such a big part of Major League Baseball, Chevy. And now with 1 out and nobody on, the batter is Corey Sullivan. In for a strike. Terry Francona telling us during our interview with him earlier in the game that they would have to be judicious with how they used Okajima tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of work in the first 3 games of this World Series, and so even with the left-handed hitting Sullivan at the plate as the pinch hitter, Okajima stays in the bullpen for now. Two and 1. One out, bases empty. Sullivan with a base hit into right center field. And the tying run will come to the plate. Kazuo Matsui. And so now the decision being made in the dugout as Terry Francona comes up the steps. Francona and Mills and Farrell discussing what to do. Tying run at the plate, bottom of the 7th inning. 1 on, 1 out, and it's Mike Timlin coming into the ball game with Matsui coming up. And Mike Timlin takes over. 6th game of this postseason, and Matsui will be his opponent, representing the tying run with 1 out and a man on here in the bottom of the 7th.
Matsui, a better left-handed hitter. This is the first time in this game that he has batted left-handed. 1 for 3 against John Lester.
David Ortiz is still in the game defensively at first base. He holds against Sullivan. Ortiz due up 4th in the top of the 8th. Up and away, ball 1. Tulowitzki on deck. A leadoff home run by Brad Hawk. Torrealba fly to right. Sullivan a pinch hit single. One ball, 1 strike. 45 come from behind wins for Clint Hurdle's team during the regular season. They have 2 this postseason. Matsui with 1 postseason home run, a grand slam in the division series at Philadelphia. Hit only 4 during the regular season. Strike 2.
Matsui pulling off the ball. Once that front side just disappeared. Probably trying to tie the ball game. His home run ball and the ball he likes best for power. That ball down and in. Okajima continuing to throw and joined now by Eric Gagne.
A strikeout of Matsui as Timlin comes in and takes care of his first batter. 2 out in the inning.
That ball diving out of the strike zone for Matsui. Big strikeout for Timlin.
Now Tulowitzki, the rookie shortstop. 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Three for 12 in this World Series. Strike 1. 24 home runs during the regular season. He has hit 1 this postseason. That guy, Holiday, has hit 5. One ball, 1 strike. 9 o'clock here in Colorado. Top of the hour. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Tying run at the plate here in game 4. Timlin out of the bullpen dealing with Tulowitzki. Red Sox up 3-0. Outside, 2-1. Three balls and a strike. And wouldn't the Rockies and these fans love to get that next guy to the plate here in the 7th?
Would they ever?
Tulowitzki looked like he was tanking on 3-1. It's a full count. Runner at first. Sullivan will go. 2 out. And one of the game's best hitters waiting on deck. One of the game's best rookies at the plate. Runner goes. Tulowitzki fouls it back here.
Very tentative swing by Tulowitzki. There it is again, knowing he's going to get the fastball.
And he strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Timlin comes out of the bullpen, strikes out Matsui, gets Tulowitzki, and leaves Matt Holliday standing in the on-deck circle. It's the 8th inning of Game 4. The Red Sox now lead it 3-1. This February, Fox takes center stage for 2 of sports' biggest events, for the 50th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, and the NFL crowns a new champion in Super Bowl 42. This February, Fox once again home for sports' greatest moments. Here is Fuentes trying to make amends for his outing last night when he allowed 3 runs in a big 8th inning for the Red Sox, and Kelty comes off the bench and hits one into left field for a home run. Bobby Kelty on the first pitch of the night that he sees goes deep to left, and it's 4-1 in the 8th.
Talk about a guy waiting for 7 innings, studying Brian Fuentes last night, looking for a fastball, getting it, and whacks it.
And so Fuentes, who last night followed up a big 3-run 7th inning by his Rockies by giving up 3 runs in the top of the 8th, on his first pitch gives the run that the Rockies got on the home run by Hop right back. And it's a 3-run game again, and now Fuentes steals to Ellsbury, and the count evens 1-1. So Bobby Kelty hits the 21st pinch hit home run in World Series history. The last one, a game winner in Game 3, 2005, Jeff Blum of the White Sox in Houston. That pitch is called low, 2-1. And I think Yorvit Torrealba, who was frustrated by a high strike called against him in the bottom of the 7th, lodged a complaint with Chuck Merriweather after Fuentes didn't get that pitch. Here's a squibber, tough play, and that's a base hit all the way. Ellsbury is on, still nobody out here in the 8th inning.
How many times do you see a ball get by the pitcher and by the 3rd baseman on one slow roller? First it's Fuentes going to his right. And now it's Atkins going to his left, and because of the speed of Ellsbury, nothing Tulowitzki can do.
A relentless attack by the Boston Red Sox as Manny Corpus, who's the closer for Colorado, gets loose. There is big news brewing, and for that we go down to the field and check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, I just spoke with Scott Boras, and he confirmed that Alex Rodriguez has decided to opt out of his contract with the Yankees. Boras said that Rodriguez made this decision today, and he made it because he's uncertain about the future composition of the Yankees. A-Rod needed to make this call within 10 days of the conclusion of the World Series. By then, he probably will not know if Jorge Posada is back, if Andy Pettit is back, if Mariano Rivera is back. He's also unsure about how the Yankees' ownership transition will play out. Boras said he's willing to continue negotiating with the Yankees, but the Yankees have been adamant that they will not negotiate with A-Rod if he opts out, because now they will lose the $21 million they would receive from the Rangers over the final 3 years of his deal.
All right, Kenny, thank you. That's big news. And again, as Ken just said, Brian Cashman has been very clear that if Alex Rodriguez opts out of his deal, they will not negotiate a contract to keep him in a Yankee uniform. So unless they go back on that, on the heels of this season, which was phenomenal during the regular season, with more postseason disappointment for the Yankees, 54 home runs, 156 RBIs. Rodriguez will be out in the open market. Pedroia trying to push a bunt, fouls it. That's strike one.
Ken, talking about the future composition of the Yankees, I wonder if Alex's decision was perhaps made because of the firing of Joe Torre, or if that was involved.
Well, I know we want to keep Ken with us during this inning, and when appropriate, go back down to him and talk more about what had been discussed. One on, nobody out, no balls and a strike on Pedroia and a pitch out. Ken, there had been some talk of the Yankees trying to add years onto the current deal, trying to keep the framework of the years left and then add on to the end of it, and obviously that was a conversation that, if it ever took place, went nowhere.
Right, Joe, and the reports of the last couple of days indicated that the Yankees were willing to offer an extension, 5 years, $27 to $30 million per year. That would have taken the total package to about 8 years, $230 to $240 million. What this means is that Boras and A-Rod evidently feel that they can do better than that on the open market, and that would be a staggering deal.
Yeah, and so if not the Yankees, then the question is which team? And there are only a few that can even enter into that discussion or could sign anybody to a deal anywhere near that. And this is one of those teams, the Boston Red Sox. The Angels, a team mentioned. You hear the Cubs. Pedroia reaching for it, fouls it. And the other piece of news, Ken, and we talked about this, the three of us, at the beginning of the postseason, with Mike Lowell potentially leaving as a free agent. There is a hole at third base with this Boston Red Sox team next year, potentially.
Joe, Theo Epstein said this week that he intended to keep Lowell, that he viewed him as a core player, that he was sure that Lowell would be back. The Red Sox don't like to sign guys beyond age 35, and that's why they probably are reluctant to enter into a long-term deal with A-Rod. But just imagine if they signed him. That would be almost a death blow to the Yankees, and with all the good young talent that the Red Sox have assembled, they would be set up for years and years.
John Henry's on his BlackBerry and smiling. Is that good news? He's in the seats here in Denver and watching, and when you think about the history, they've had a deal done for Alex Rodriguez. That pitch is up and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So obviously John Henry, Larry Lucchino, and this organization at one time wanted to put Alex Rodriguez in a uniform. That didn't work out contractually. Manny Ramirez was part of a potential deal that would have been done with the Texas Rangers. But if the Yankees are off the board, there aren't many options out there for Rodriguez with that kind of money and demands. 2-2 pitch inside. And it's a full count. I just do not think you can take the Boston Red Sox off the board as a potential landing spot for Alex Rodriguez at this point. 1 on, nobody out. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Dustin Pedroia, who's hitless tonight.
Ellsbury will be running.
He is. A one-hopper to short. Out at second. Out at first. Beautifully turned by Tulowitzki and Matsui. With Helton digging it out on the back end.
You won't see a double play turned any more spectacularly than that. Ellsbury all over Matsui at second. He uses the bag for protection, backs off and makes a strong throw. Good play by Helton on the back end. Boy, that's beautiful.
Good all the way around. Tulowitzki, Matsui, and then Helton. And now with the bases empty, 2 out, here is David Ortiz. And that breaking ball misses, ball 1.
And this will be Ortiz's last at bat, with Euclid going in for defense in the bottom of the 8th.
The inning started with a home run by Kelty off the bench. Bobby now 3 out of 6 this postseason, and he took a whack at the first pitch. He's still smiling down there, and why not?
I don't blame him.
He restores the 3-run lead for Boston here in the 8th. Down and in. And something we talked about last night as the count goes to 3-0 just to finish on Lowell. If because of age the Red Sox are not willing to give Mike Lowell a 3 or maybe a 4-year deal, that could mean the end of Lowell's time in Boston, because you have to believe with the year that Lowell had, that type of a deal is out there for the Red Sox third baseman. There's a strike from Fuentes. And who knows, Mike Lowell may get that type contract from the organization he was once with, the New York Yankees, now that Rodriguez has opted out of his deal. Here's the 3-1. A 2-out walk puts Ortiz on, and they could run for Ortiz here and add a little more speed in the 8th. And if they're going to take him out for defensive reasons, that would make a lot of sense.
Right.
Meanwhile, Hurdle pops out of the dugout with Manny Ramirez coming up. We'll have a double switch. Coco Crisp is going to come in and run for David Ortiz. And Fuentes, who surrenders another run here tonight with a leadoff pinch hit home run by Bobby Kelty. His night is over. Ramirez coming up and Manny Corpus coming in to pitch. Jamie Carroll takes over at second base in the double switch. Matsui is out for the rest of the night. And Manny Corpus will occupy Matsui's spot in the lineup and try and get Manny Ramirez to end the top of the 8th. It's 4-1. Boston leading here in the 8th inning, and a swinging strike. Mentioned Coco Crisp is doing the running now at first for David Ortiz. And in the bottom of this 8th inning, Kevin Euclid will find his way out to first base.
And you might see Coco Crisp find his way out to center field and have Ellsbury move to left in place of Manny Ramirez, since Manny is hitting in this inning.
It is all unfolding perfectly for Terry Francona.
Sure is.
And it happened thanks to the leadoff home run by Kelty. It got Ortiz up to the plate here in the inning. That clears Ortiz's spot in the order, and then he can make the switch. After the walk, 0-2 the count on Manny Ramirez. Bottom of this 8th inning, it will be Holiday, Helton, and Atkins, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Rockies, with time running out. Crisp is back easily. Mike Timlin came on and struck out the 2 batters he faced. May go out there for one more, and you saw Okajima still up and getting loose for the Red Sox in their pen. Holiday will lead off in the bottom of the inning. Ball 1. With 2 out, Ramirez is tied up and he strikes out. Part of the order coming up for the Rockies. Bottom of the 8th inning, game 4. 4-1 Red Sox. Kevin Youkilis does take over at first base. No surprise. He's batting in the number 9 spot. Ellsbury moves from center to left. Coco Crisp will roam center field, a big center field. He's batting in that 3 spot. And the new pitcher, Hideki Okajima, will hit 4th where Ramirez was. And Francona goes to Okajima to try and get the Red Sox through the 8th. Now Gagne and Papelbon are getting loose. 4-1 Red Sox leading, trying to sweep here in the World Series. Holiday last night took the first pitch, a changeup from Okajima, and hit it over the wall in center for a 3-run home run.
So Okajima comes back with another changeup in a lot better spot.
Holiday 0 for 3 tonight. For the Rockies, only 5 hits and 1 run on the home run by Brad Hopp. One and one. If the World Series ends tonight, we will stay here for the celebration and the trophy presentations. The Rockies are trying to make sure that doesn't happen, and we play tomorrow night. The 1-1 to Holiday. Over the outside part, and these hitters have been frustrated all night with the strike zone of Chuck Merriweather.
Holiday thought that ball was outside. Very close.
The 1-2 from Okajima. A dangerous foul ball into the seats right over the Rockies dugout. How do you hit that?
You don't.
It was an inch off the ground, way outside, and Holiday put a piece of the bat on it to keep it 1-2.
To hit that ball, you have to have a longer and a wider bat.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Holiday leading off. Shoots one to second. Pedroia down on a knee, makes the play. 1 out. Holiday 0 for 4 tonight. And this detail of the game is brought to you by Shark Aquos, official HD TV of Major League Baseball. Bring the details home. We detail the pitching tonight of the 23-year-old John Lester, who worked inside all night.
One cutter after the other. Talking about how Okajima can frustrate Rocky hitters. Well, that's what John Lester did tonight. Just overpowered them inside.
Wondering if he will get the win here tonight. He went 5 2/3. No runs, 3 hits. It's up to the bullpen as Okajima gets out in front of Helton. Last night, Todd Helton got a hit off Okajima. And he was at first with the Rockies down by 1, nobody out in the 7th inning, and never moved after that. Red Sox now are in an area where Gagne sits, and they would bring Papelbon in if needed. That's bad news for the Rockies. Strike 2 on Helton. Here's the 0-2 to Helton.
The great pitcher and pitching coach Johnny Sain used to say that the definition of pitching is the art of fooling a hitter. Nobody exemplifies that more than Hideki Okajima.
And the combination of Okajima and Papelbon in the late innings has brought the Red Sox to this point. They have not hardly made any mistakes, and for Papelbon, he's been in 9 postseason games, has not allowed a run. In the dirt to help. Meanwhile, for Okajima, he's had a lot of work. His 8th game, he's worked now 11 innings. He's allowed 1 run on 7 hits. The 1-2. Helton, left side, base hit. Two out of 4 tonight is Helton, and Atkins will bat with 1 on, 1 out.
Clint Hurdle telling us tonight before the game that Helton could hit anybody, and he has proven that with the Rockies for the last 11 years.
A career .367 hitter at home. And tonight, 2 out of 4 is Atkins, who has walked, lined out, grounded out. Digs in here in the 8th. Strike 1 from Okajima. Spilborg's on deck. Ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. One on, 1 out, and a ball outside. 2-1 to Garrett Atkins. Atkins does not have an RBI since game 1 of the division series at Philadelphia. And he's the number 5 hitter in this lineup for the Rockies. Down and in, 3-1. If Atkins reaches, the tying run will come to the plate in this 4-1 game and might bring Papelbon out of the bullpen.
No question about it.
That is a shot into left. Back at the wall. It's a one-run game. Okajima last night gave up a 3-run home run to make it a 1-run game. Tonight, a 2-run shot to make it a 1-run game. He hands off to Francona, who will give it to Papelbon after Atkins goes deep. His first home run of the postseason. It's 4-3. Rockies still batting in the bottom of the 8th. Okajima will now sit and watch as Jonathan Papelbon takes over. All right, it's at 9 games. It's 6 games, 9 innings that Papelbon has worked this postseason. No earned runs, just 5 hits, 3 saves, including a 2-inning save, Game 7 of the ALCS against the Indians. And now with Spilborghs coming up and Brad Hopp to follow, it's a 4-3 game here in the bottom of the 8th. Last night, Okajima, who has been almost untouchable through the changeup, and Holiday hit a 3-run home run to center, made it 6-5. Red Sox won it 10-5. And tonight against Atkins, his first home run of this postseason makes it 4-3. And it heaps the pressure on Jonathan Papelbon as the Red Sox ask their closer for a 5-out save.
It bears repeating what you said in the middle innings, that Terry Francona would use Okajima judiciously tonight. I'm sure that's what Terry's thinking right now. 3 hitters, 2 runs for the Rockies.
Spilborghs is the first battle for Papelbon. No RBIs this postseason for Spilborghs. He hit 11 home runs during the regular season. And a chopper foul outside third. Five home runs on the record of Jonathan Papelbon during the regular season. A little high, 1 ball, 1 strike, 95 from Papelbon. Strike 2.
Spilborghs thought it was outside. Looked like it was right on the corner. Not only does he throw hard, but his control's impeccable.
difference in the game now is the home run hit by Kelty, leading off the top of the 8th inning against Fuentes. The pinch hit home run. The 1-2 to Spilborghs. Fights it off and fouls it. Every time Papelbon has rung up the save, it's been for more than 1 inning. And that's what Terry Francona asks from him again tonight.
Papelbon with 3 blown saves during the season. It's a rarity.
Pretty good swing by Spilborghs. 96 miles per hour from Papelbon. The Red Sox were careful with Papelbon all season, trying to not overwork him. That has all paid off during the postseason with all of these multiple inning efforts. Two and two. To the shortstop, Lugo backs up a bit, throws for the out. 2 away. And Hop will be the hitter. Last time up against Del Carmen. Towering home run to right.
We talked about Brad finally catching up to a fastball. That's what the Red Sox have featured throughout the series. Well, he's going to see some more fastballs right here.
Last night he tripled into the right field corner against Papelbon. Strike 1. The home run last inning was his first of the postseason after hitting 29 during the regular year. So he is a threat. Strike 2. Two out, nobody on. 0-2 pitch to Hop. Ball 1. Good swing, still 1-2. into left center field, and Crisp back to his right to end the inning. Well hit, but to a very deep part of the park. Atkins, a 2-run shot. Bottom of the 8th inning makes it 4-3 Boston as we go to the 9th. Manny Corpus finished off the top of the 8th. He's out there for the top of the 9th. Mike Lowell's had a nice night with a double, a run scored, a home run. 4-3 Boston. Game 4, trying to sweep and win their 7th World Series title in franchise history. Breaking ball, a strike. A look ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning against Papelbon. The scheduled hitters are Torey Alba, Carroll, and then the pitcher spot. Off the end of the bat into left field, and Holiday to his right. 1 out.
Joe, earlier you talked about the ownership group at the Boston Red Sox, and you mentioned John Henry and Larry Lucchino. The guy who holds it all together is sitting to the right of John Henry, and that's Tom Werner, who used to be the owner of the San Diego Padres. He entered Major League Baseball in 1990, and things were so bad with the Padres a couple of years later. The perception being that he was getting rid of a lot of high-priced talent and weakening the ball club.
There's J.D. Drew, and there's ball 1.
That he found himself in a traffic jam, and signs were rampant at Jack Murphy Stadium saying, honk if you don't like Tom Werner. So he started honking, thinking that he's trying to protect himself, because if he didn't honk, people might look at his car and figure out that's Tom Werner right there.
There's a 2-0 count now on J.D. Drew with 1 out and nobody on.
And if the Red Sox win tonight, there will be no honking in Boston.
Well, I mean,
unless it's in favor of the Sox.
And you think about this ownership group, their 6th year, and they are in the 9th inning leading and 3 defensive outs away within those 6 years of their 2nd World Championship. Drew grounds to Carroll. And along the way now, with the way this organization has been run in Boston, and with the way that they are set up for the future with their young players, as much money as they've spent on free agents and on big dollar contracts, they've been just as good with player development. And when you think about the starter tonight, John Lester, or Papelbon is trying to end the game, or the series that Ellsbury has had, or Dustin Pedroia, just as big a part as what they've received from Lowell and David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez. And they are going to be good for a long time, and have now become the standard by which all other teams are measured, even their arch rival, the New York Yankees. They are in the top spot. 2 out, nobody on. Theo Epstein has done a great job as general manager, and the system that they have set up and evaluating talent and manipulating this roster during the course of the season and handing the reins to Terry Francona, who has been sensational in his 4 years with the Red Sox. It is quite an operation. Leading here tonight 4-3, up 3-0. The 0-1 pitch, Veritek, a big part of it as well. Strike 2. Meanwhile, it's the Rockies who will bat in the bottom of this 9th inning, trying to force a Game 5 tomorrow night. And Corpus is doing all he can to keep it a 1-run game. Corpus started to walk away. It's ball 1. Slow roller, touched by Corpus, played by Carroll. Good work by Manny Corpus. He's done what he can. And game 4 goes into the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Rockies. Trying to force a game 5. They trail by 1. They are keeping the faith here in Denver as the Rockies have their final at bat. Bottom of the 9th inning. Down by a run. Papelbon, who finished off the bottom of the 8th, is back out there for Torrealba, Carroll, and then a pinch hitter. That's what the Rockies are trying to do. Force a game 5 tomorrow night. Rockies Torrealba will be first up. And Jamie Carroll, who has had only 1 at bat this entire postseason, will follow him.
If Torrealba gets on, Glenn Hurdle may put Carroll in there and leave him in there to bunt Torrealba to second base. If he doesn't get on, perhaps Seth Smith will be the pinch hitter.
They'll need another pinch hitter to follow.
Right.
In the number 1 spot. Holiday with a helmet on, hoping to bat here against Papelbon. Rockies Torrealba. Strike 1. Torrealba has grounded out, popped up, fly to right. Strike 2. Good pitch that tied up the Colorado catcher.
Pitch was inside. It was not a strike, and Torrealba went too far.
Oh-2 pitch from Jonathan Papelbon to the second baseman, and Pedroia gets the out, 1 away. And Jamie Carroll will come to the plate. The clock strikes midnight in Boston. And the Red Sox are 2 outs away from a world championship. Carroll trying to get on and make something happen here in the 9th. Jamie Carroll, typically a defensive replacement, takes a strike. Again, only 1 at bat this postseason. Seth Smith, who's been a terrific pinch hitter, on deck. He'll bat for Corpus. Strike 2. Papelbon is that combination of a closer who comes out, throws mid-90s, and throws strikes.
He has only featured the fastball this evening.
With one out, nobody on. Fly ball into left field. Back at the wall, and a catch by Jacoby Ellsbury. Jamie Carroll gave it a ride, and up against the wall, Ellsbury hauls it in, 2 away.
Only 2 home runs on the season. The pitch was inside. Ellsbury, who started the game in center field, moved to left and makes the play.
And so now the last chance for the Rockies is Seth Smith. And relief on the part of Papelbon as Jamie Carroll pinned Jacoby Ellsbury up against the wall. Seth Smith. Strike 1. The Boston Red Sox won 5 of the first 15 World Series and had the 86-year drought. Terry Francona in his first year guided the Red Sox to that comeback down 3-0 in the ALCS to the Yankees in 2004, and then the sweep of the Cardinals in the World Series. Down 3-1 to the Cleveland Indians in the ALCS this year, trying to sweep the Colorado Rockies.
That is the first off-speed pitch that Papelbon has thrown since coming in the game. It looked like a splitter.
Seth Smith with 2 out. Ball 2. Papelbon trying to finish off 4 1/3 innings in this World Series without allowing a run, and 10 2/3 during the postseason without allowing a run. Behind on the count to Smith. Strike 2. Smith has never homered as a big leaguer. Called up in September, he's been a big weapon off the bench for Clint Hurdle. But now he and the Rockies are down to their last strike. Series over, and the Red Sox are world champs again. And so the Boston Red Sox, as they did in 2004, celebrate a world championship on the road. They did it in St. Louis then. They do it in Denver, Colorado tonight. And with home field advantage in the series, with these 2 4-game sweeps under Francona, the one downside is they have not been able to celebrate with their fans as they win the World Series again on the road.
And they did it in different styles. They won 2 blowouts, and they won 2 one-run games. Seth Smith and the Red Sox are world champions.
And Jonathan Papelbon finishes off a tremendous postseason. Ten and 2/3 innings pitched, no runs allowed. And the celebration from one of the 8 homegrown players on this World Series roster for the Red Sox, with Jason Varitek leaping into his arms. The 7th championship in Red Sox history. And right now for the presentation of the trophy, let's go down into the clubhouse in Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, Joe Buck, it feels like we were just here, and I guess that's because we were. The Red Sox are world champions again, and I am surrounded by the leadership of the Red Sox Nation. As you can hear, the players filing in as we speak. Owner John Henry, owner and Chairman Tom Warner. We see Larry Lucchino down there. How you doing, sir? And, of course, Terry Francona, the manager, down on the end, and the Commissioner of Baseball, Bud Selig. I'm going to hold the microphone, sir, because you have something to pick up.
I do, Jeannie. Well, on behalf of Major League Baseball, after waiting 86 years, a second time in 4 years, great comeback in the American League Championship Series. Congratulations, John, Tom, Larry, Theo, wherever he is here, and Terry. You've had a magnificent season, and I congratulate you and enjoy, and I know you will.
All right, as Mr. Selig reaches for the trophy, we'll let you get your hands on that. Congratulations. Mr. Henry, hold on tight, sir. I know you've had some practice, but it's still heavy. 2004, the Red Sox Nation watched, and they were almost in fear, waiting for someone to steal the title away from them, waiting for the curse to resurface. How was 2007 different?
Well, I'll tell you, 2007 was a great year for baseball. It was a great year. And I just want to say, this Colorado team, what they accomplished to win 21 out of 22 to get to the World Series was incredible. So we want to congratulate them, and the people of Denver have been terrific to us here. But for this organization to win, we were here 3 years ago last night, to win this second trophy is just an incredible accomplishment.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Warner, I know baseball is so near and dear to your heart, so important for you to be back in the game, to be with a legendary franchise, to get it back to the surface again, to notoriety. Very long way from San Diego, would you say, sir?
It's a long way, but 2004 was for our parents and our grandparents and those people who suffered through 8 decades before a world championship. So this is for us and for our children and for everybody in Red Sox Nation that we can do it again.
We are waiting for the most valuable player to shuffle up here, Mr. Lucchino. Your club grabbed first place in early April and really never seemed to look back, yet backs against the wall in the LCS. Was there ever any doubt that you would be standing on this podium, maybe not in Colorado, but standing on this podium here collecting this trophy?
Absolutely. There was plenty of doubt from time to time, absolutely. But the guys in uniform played like a band of brothers through the entire season. And we are a grateful ownership and organization tonight to these players, to the fans. This is for the Red Sox Nation, from the Dominican Republic to Japan, all over the continental U.S. This is for you as well. Thank you and congratulations to you all.
All right, again, gentlemen, we're waiting for the most valuable player to walk in. He's walking his way up. So, Joe, why don't you take it for a while? We'll get it all figured out, and we'll go back up to you with our MVP of the 2007 World Series.
All right, thank you, Jeannie. And the one guy that wasn't mentioned is the guy on the far right there, and the job that he's done in the dugout for that ownership group and for Theo Epstein, Terry Francona, who has found the right combination. He did it in 2004, and he does it again here in 2007. Let's go back down to Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, if you saw the pictures, I guess you could figure it out. Our Most Valuable Player trophy. I know you're standing here, but we got to do this officially. Presented by Chevrolet. But Mr. Seelig will do the honors.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations. A great World Series. You hit 400. You get big hits. So on behalf of baseball and Chevrolet, congratulations, Most Valuable Player, the 2007 World Series. And to all of Red Sox Nation, the fans all over, congratulations on this great victory.
And Mike, really just an all-around effort by you. Phil Caruso with Chevy right here with the presentation. We'll let you touch the hardware. A few words for him.
Mike, congratulations. And on behalf of Chevrolet, I'd like to present you the perfect garage. America's first full-size SUV hybrid, the Chevy Tahoe, and the most affordable midsize hybrid, the all-new Chevy Malibu. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's the good news. The bad, you have to drive it all the way home from Colorado because we have it parked outside, but you can load all this up. You're double dipping here, sir. I think you can spread the love with that one. This is the one you get to take home. We have congratulations. Absolutely. We'll take you, take us through the home run. As I said, just a complete effort by you with the bat, with the glove. But, you know, everyone wants to talk about the long ball.
The long ball special. You know, just in that situation, I was in a 1-0 count, and I know, Aaron Cook's got a good sinker, and just trying to maybe make him get it up a little, and I think he put one kind of middle in, and I got my hands inside, I got through, and I knew I hit it well, and it just it went out. It was a great feeling.
All right, this is not your first ring. I think people are aware of that. I mean, you did it before with a franchise that really was just kind of making a mark. How different is it to win a world championship, really donning this Red Sox uniform?
A little different. I think with the Marlins, no one expected us to do this, and I think with the Red Sox, people expect you to win. And I think both are very satisfying. To prove everyone wrong is one thing, but to come through when everyone thinks if you don't win a championship, it's a disappointment, and still win the championship is very rewarding.
All right, finally, you knew this was coming. I know you're going to tell me you just want to bask in this championship right now, but obviously you have a contract that it's expiring, I think, any second now. Where is your heart at? Is your heart in Boston? Are you just desirous of shopping yourself around a little bit?
Well, free agency to me is very new, so I'm going to take it step by step, but I've never hid the fact that I enjoy playing here in Boston. It's a good fit for me. I have great teammates, a great manager, great coaches. So we'll see what happens, but I'm more focused on celebrating right now.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations. Joe?
A very classy man, Mike Lowell, and he proves it night after night, year after year. He had a fantastic postseason in general and World Series specifically, as he is the 2007 World Series Most Valuable Player. Congratulations to Mike Lowell. Let's go back down to Jeannie with Terry Francona.
Terry Francona, I don't think we have enough time to give you credit for what you have accomplished here. You set the bar so high. You come in first year on the job. You get this nation a world championship. How different is it being back here again?
Oh, it doesn't get old. So proud of our organization. I mean, I don't know how to say it because I know I'm supposed to find words, but it's hard. Just this is a time when I just want to watch our players enjoy what they did, because what they accomplished, what our organization accomplished, is so special.
This is something we find ourselves asking players so much. Do you look at your numbers? Do you see what you're doing? Do you see your dominance in the postseason? I mean, it's Hall of Fame atmosphere and the back-to-back sweeps.
No, I couldn't breathe the last inning. I mean, it doesn't feel like that. I mean, you're fighting so hard to get through that game, and so many guys had to dig deep. There'll be a time when we can sit back and enjoy it right now, but not when you're playing. It's so hard.
All right, let me just ask you finally, what is the Red Sox Nation supposed to do? This is all kind of a new feel here. We got a couple of titles here. We're supposed to wait a long time, yes?
We'll figure it out. You know what? We'll get back home tomorrow and celebrate with the fans and our organization and let them have a much-deserved another celebration.
Yeah, good situation to be in. Congratulations. Joe, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jeannie. What a great guy. Terry Francona couldn't happen to a better man, and Jeannie alluded to it now. 21-9 in his career during the postseason is Terry Francona on the heels of another 4-game World Series sweep here in 2007.